Welcome today, everybody. Today we are having a special guest. This is Eastside Cats Radio and TV.
Wow, my name is Craig Redmond, Sr., and I'm a musician. I'm an actor, songwriter, producer, and I'm a musician, drummer, vocalist, songwriter, actor, school teacher / band instructor.
What inspired you to do music and drum writing?
Well, music has always been a big part of my life. My parents were musicians. My father was a piano player and a percussionist. My mother was a piano player. And my whole family, just generations of music. Growing up in a little church, inspired, started there at the age of 7. Probably had my first professional gig at the age of 10, but I didn't know it. And music saved my life. Music, I'm not just a percussionist, I'm a vocal major. I'm 10 grade. Probably had my first professional gig. And from there it just escalated. Music saved my life, I can tell you that much. And every style of music I was brought up on. But it started in gospel.
Who have you played with and who is inspiring to you?
Wow, the list goes on. From George Benson to Angie Stone, Snoopy Playhouse rather. We did a Broadway play called Snoopy's Playhouse. I was in the play and the orchestra for years. Quite a few people, numerous gospel artists, the Clark Sisters, Timothy Wright. The list goes on and on. I have my own projects out too. My own project, Christmas project.
To hear, but who has inspired you to become who you are now?
Well, like I said, my parents were the first musicians that I got inspired by. My mother, father, my brother was with Al Green for 10 years as a drummer. My brother played with the Beach Boys. I have another brother who did opera, actually from here. He did opera from Eastside High School in the 80s. He also inspired me. Great teachers, Mr. Nelson that was here, Mr. Palmieri, other musicians like Omar Hakeem, the drummer, different writers, up to date, Teddy Riley. The list goes on. It was inspired from people that was close to me. Jeff Davis is another drummer. Vocal wise, wow. I'm inspired by anybody who really appreciates and respects the art of music.
There's a saying, the music stimulates the mind. How is that so?
Wow. There's not a day without music. You can be down. Music, you turn on the radio, something, a nice melody, good beat can lift you up. And it does. Music is, it really is. There's been the studies from kids, children being born. If you play a certain style of music while they're in their crib, as they're younger, it'll grow with them. And you put classical music on at night, you can see them be calm. They did a good study on it, but I know from my experience that music does. It stimulates the mind, the body, sets the mood sometimes for your day, good or bad or indifferent.
Is there any advice you would give any students that want to pursue a career in music?
Yes. Don't be afraid. Even if you're shy. Like I said, music changed my life. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I've been doing it for over 40 years. It's serious, the discipline that you don't know about, that you're being taught now, you're gonna need it later. Don't be afraid. It's not gonna make you popular. That saying that it's lonely up top, you think about a guy like Michael Jackson, he died alone. Prince died alone. The next person died alone. It's lonely up top because you are your own individual person. So in order to exercise your freedom of art that's in you, I tell a student, anyone, just take that chance. Don't be ashamed. It's there. And you're gonna be different. That's why you're an artist. You're gonna be different. Not like everybody else. I'm different. It doesn't matter.
Lastly, if anyone wants to look you up, where is it that they can go to?
Okay, Sea Dreams, Big Sea Dreams. You can go to on YouTube, Big Sea Dreams, all one word. You can see the videos, music videos, and maybe a couple more interviews. And they can reach me at Craig Redmond, .com, and they can always go to Facebook and look at some exposure. But Big Sea Dreams, all one word. Big Sea Dreams. Go to YouTube, see the videos. I also wrote and coordinated. I wrote the scores to those videos too. And we're also going to be shooting a video next week on Drummer's Boy for the new release. So don't miss it.
Thank you for having me. So it's a pleasure.
Thank you for joining.
Or another school that's out there, and they are making the same amount of money, and they did not pay the $30,000 that the person that working next to them did. And they are still learning, getting classes, and they are also working and making money, and they didn't pay the money that the person from Lincoln Tech paid. So spent. So I wanted to just start off by saying I'm from the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. We are a union that represents auto mechanics and a number of, as well as a lot of other different things, people that work in the aerospace industry also and fix planes or builds them. We have a specific group that works on automobiles or trucks, automotive or diesel, and that's why it's the Automotive and Diesel Technicians Program. We represent technicians that go from, Connecticut on down to Delaware, with New Jersey being in the middle of that. And so we represent a lot of automotive and diesel technicians, and we know about the industry. Where do they work? The automotive technicians work at various dealerships. It could be a Ford dealership like Betty Ford over here in Clifton. It could be a Toyota dealership. It could be a Honda dealership. It could be any one of the new car dealerships that are out there. We have BMW on down to Honda and Toyota and Ford and Chevy, GM. So that's where our technicians work. We would get you one of those jobs. What an apprenticeship means is that you learn on the job, and then you go to school. Either if it's in the building trades where there's a lot of apprenticeships, maybe one day every 2 weeks you go to class.
Can you hold this?
Here you're going to go to school 2 nights a week. So instead of so that's the difference. You're going to learn in class the theory, and then you're going to be able to apply it on the job in the workplace. When you're learning at a school where you don't work, you're learning the theory, and then maybe you're doing it in the shop, but it's not under workplace conditions. It's different conditions. So it's harder to, then you go to work, and then you got to translate everything that you learned into the workplace. And they may tell you to do it a little differently, or they may ask you to do something that you don't know. And then whereas here you're learning it all at the same time. You're learning the theory, what you need to know, and then you're applying it with your hands in a workplace. So that's the best way to learn. That's what apprenticeship is all about. And it's more common, obviously, with electricians and the building trades, with carpenters, plumbers. Those are all building trades where they most often learn in an apprenticeship situation. But here you're going to be in an apprenticeship. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. You're going to get a job where you're going to be making a training wage, but eventually you go up to a really good wage, and then you learn your trade. This is a trade. This is a career. It's not like working at a fast food restaurant or a retail where you're making $8, $10 an hour. Yeah, we start off at 10 in automotive and 13 in diesel, but you go up pretty quickly to about $20, $25 within 2-3 years. That's where you should be. 4 years at the latest. And then you get also benefits, health benefits, and all sorts of other kinds of benefits. So that's what this is about. Any questions so far? I'm going to explain. I got about a half-hour presentation. Along the line, if you have questions, I'll take questions. But this is about becoming an automotive or diesel technician, okay, and how to get there with our program and what it's like. Okay. All right. So first of all, some of you are in the automotive shop. I looked up what automotive, a technician is. If you're taking it, if you're in the automotive shop, you're taking it 1 year or 2 years. Was this your second year or first year? Okay, some one, some two. So I looked up a definition of what an oil service technician does, and this is I came across this definition from the United States Department of Labor. And it says, I'm going to read it quickly because it explains a number of things. The work of automotive service technicians and mechanics has evolved from simply mechanical to high-tech. Today, integrated electronic systems and complex computers run vehicles and measure their performance while on the road. Automotive service technicians have developed into diagnostic high-tech problem solvers. In other words, what this tells you is it's pretty complex. All right, there's a lot of electronics involved, there's a lot of computers involved in today's cars. It's not just turning a wrench. You know, they've got to work with sometimes laptop computers, also scan tools are electronic, and you got to know how to use them, and they're very expensive. But all these things are different from the way you used to service cars years ago. What about working on trucks? You know, you'd be working in a dealership for cars. However, we also have truck leasing firms that we would put you into if you're interested in diesel, working on diesel engines. Penske is one of them, and there's several other. I can pull it down there. It says, in modern shops, diesel service technicians use handheld or laptop computers to diagnose problems and adjust engine functions. And that's absolutely true. If you go to some of our shops, you see it. You know, one of our shop, they take care of buses, and you would see that the first thing they do is they plug in a computer, a laptop to the bus, and they see what things they have to adjust on the bus, what timing or what systems in the bus they have to take care of and fix or maintain. It's the same thing with automotive or diesel or buses or trucks or cars. Okay, so it's much more technical than it used to be. This is just an example of what it used to be this is a cartoon from the new Star Ledger from 2004, how to draw a automotive mechanic in the kids sections of the comics. And it said, what is the, I'm asking what's the public perception of what a mechanic was at that time or probably before that, because even by that time it was changing. And the kid could draw a few simple lines and then make what you would think of as an auto mechanic. And that's absolutely not true. You go to some of our shops and they're clean. The floor is cleaner than this one. It's an there's air-conditioned shops now. You have computers. Either everybody or every other station at the minimum has a computer, a laptop there. So you're going to be working with computers. You're going to be working, with sophisticated equipment. You got to know what you're doing. In fact, if you walk around in that shop with your shirt hanging out the back, they're going to tell you to tuck it in. They want you to be professional. They want you, you're going to be making decent money. You've got to be smart. You've got to look it and act professional. They don't want you to look like a slob. And that's not, they want you to keep your area clean, etc. I just want to, let you know that, again, we are a union that represents mechanics, as I mentioned, from various states, including this area. But the important point here as being a union is that what do? We work hard to win a better life for our members at the negotiating table. We represent you if you have an issue also. If you think you're paid wrong that week for some reason or other, you worked 41 hours and you only got paid for 40, and if your supervisor can't take care of it, then you could go to the union and say, they're cheating me out of an hour. There's something wrong here. And we could help you get that. If it's true, we could help you get the pay. We help to defend you. We help to make sure that you get a fair shake. That's what the union does. That's what it's all about. That's why it's good to work in a union shop. In addition, what else do unions do, and what's the difference? Well, again, this statistic comes from the United States Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they say that union employees earn more. There's a gap of over $200 on average per week between union and non-union workers in the maintenance and repair fields. In other words, in the field that we're talking about. So $200 difference, meaning that if you're in a week. Okay, so that's the why it's good to work in the union shop. Why else? Vacation, union employees get more time off, more vacation, as well as more holidays off. Job security is better for union employees. What's job security? All right, anybody know? I mean, everybody knows what vacation and pay is, but what? That's exactly right. Job security means that it's harder for you to get fired. The law of this country, or the law of the land, is that you're an employee at will. That's a legal term, employee at will. You know what that employee at will is? Whose will are you there? What's that mean? Employee at will. well, that's true, but you'll lose your job. But so, whose will is, when you have a job, you're there at an employee at whose will? Yours? Is that what you said? Okay, can you walk into a McDonald's over here and say, I'm here, I'm going to start work tomorrow? No, right? So whose will are you there at? The manager or the boss? Exactly. So, I mean, you're there at their whim, at their will. And, you know, you could be fired at any time, you could be hired, and you could say, I'll come back, I'll hire you next week, or, you know, I don't want you, I'm not going to hire you at all right now. So it's the boss that controls everything. However, in a union shop, you're in better shape, like you said. He could in a non-union shop, they could let you go anytime. If you're in a union shop, they have to have a decent reason, a good reason. If you're not doing your work, if you come in late all the time, if you're out for a week and you disappeared and they don't know where you are, then they have the you know, ability to take it and to fire you or to let you go. However, it's got to be a good reason. Healthcare, union employees get more better coverage. It costs a lot of money. If you have something major wrong with you, if God forbid you break your arm or something like that, you go to a hospital, it could cost thousands of dollars. All right, and you know, you have a job, they're going to want you to pay that back over time. If you have insurance, medical coverage, which we get you as part of a union shop, you know, it's going to cost you a lot less, of very little bit. All right, and non-union shops sometimes don't have coverage, or if they do, it's very bad insurance. It could be, sometimes it's like a $10,000 deductible, which means that you got to spend $10,000 of your own money before the insurance kicks in. What kind of insurance is that? You go broke before you even get to use the insurance. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's important that you have something like that. And, you know, whereas, you know, you're young now and you're pretty healthy, in a few years, you know, you might have something happen. You just want to be in a safe situation. Pensions are paid for by the employer, so you don't have to work till you're 70, 80, but you can retire at a decent age and have some money to live on. That's better in a union shop. Now, why should you be a technician or automotive or diesel technician specifically? Well, there's approximately 253 million vehicles on the road today. That includes only cars and light trucks. And that's from a couple years ago. That's the last statistic that I've been able to find. When I started doing this, so 2 years ago, say 2015, when I started doing this program in 2003, working with this program, I looked around and the number then was that there were 200 million vehicles on the road. So from 10, 12 years, 12 years, we went up from 200 million to 250 million vehicles. Every one of those vehicles has to be taken care of, maintained, fixed occasionally, and repaired. They need technicians to do that. That would be you. And it's not anybody off the street. Again, you got to know what you're doing today. You got to know how to work with the various scan tools. You got to know about the technology. You got to know all about it. And so that's why, as a technician, you're in good shape. Qualified technicians are hard to find. The industry itself says they'll need over 60,000 technicians every year in the next 10 years or so. That's why schools like Lincoln Tech are out there saying, look, you know, this is a job that's not going away. This is not a job that they can move to Mexico or to China or anything like that. People are going to go around the corner or close to them to get their car fixed. So that's what we're talking about, job security, but it's not a job that's going to go away, and they need people to do that job here. There's a constant need for good people to fill open positions. If you're a top technician, if you're, you know, there's C technicians, which are where we get you to in the program. There's B technicians, which are above that, and then there's the best, it's an A technician, a master or an A technician. If you're an A or a B technician, you can pretty much walk into a shop and say, I'm an A technician, do you have a job for me? And they're going to either think about it or give you a job. Because, you know, they know your skills, and they know your skill. And, you know, so if you're a top technician, it's very good for you, you're in demand.